It's the 30th of October and we woke up today to the first frost of autumn, and it's meant to be a lovely day today, so I thought why not go to the garden and start getting it ready for winter. In Wales, we unfortunately don't have the luxury of long, warm and dry autumns. So if you want to go save bean seeds, what we need to do is let them stay on the plant for as long as possible. But then when we know that there's going to be no more hot weather, we'll take them off and then we'll finish drying them off in the barn so we can save seeds ready to plant next year. I think one of the best things and the biggest takeaways you can get from preparing your garden for winter is that you get a lot of material to compost. And this was a really successful squash bed for this year. Especially, you should have seen some of the courgettes we managed to get, and it kept us in top supply. But what we need to do now is to get rid of these old plants here, do a little bit of weeding and put that on the compost, and we're going to then look at maybe adding something over the top for it to rot down over winter to give us a really nice soil full of nutrients to grow in next year. What I love about composting is that anything you can grow within reason, you can put straight back onto the compost pile, and then next year when this is all broken down, we can come here with a spade or a shovel, stick it in the wheelbarrow and put it back onto our raised beds. Fortunately, it doesn't look like there's that much weeding to do. I will be using a fork just to dislodge some of the bigger roots. But it's looking really promising, and hopefully this will be done quite quickly. All in all, it took me just under 10 minutes to clear that bed, and I will be putting something over the top. I think probably compost, but right now there's still some space in the wheelbarrow to put on some more organic material for composting. So right here I've got some peas, and they have been really productive. We grew sugar snaps, general garden peas and also mange too, but it's time to also put the dead plants into the compost. These nasturtiums, which just seem to love our weather here, unfortunately caught the frost last night, and as you can see they're beginning to die, and you can just tell by the leaves that it's the end of their lives. So the best use now for these nasturtiums is to go straight onto the compost pile. So we're actually at the top end of the pea bed, and what I'm hoping to do is just to clear everything here as well, so we can put on some nice organic matter or some manure over the top for it to rot down over winter. these ones here are going to our 3 hungry pigs. Dive, big pig. So with this bed here, I've decided to conduct a bit of an experiment. So I weeded the bottom half, but I've left the top half with some weeds in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place something over the top and then a layer of black plastic, and then come next year I'm going to see if there's any difference in terms of having to weed, just to see if it's really worth the time having to weed the bottom end when I could save a lot of time by not having to weed the bed at all. So here we've got some compost ready. The raised bed, which had the outdoor squash plants this year, has now been fed with 5 wheelbarrow loads of compost. And what I'm going to do now is get the strimmer and give the garden one last cut of the grass this year. With about an hour of good daylight left, I've still got some jobs which I'm going to try and do. If not, I'll push them on to tomorrow. But what I need to do is get rid of the yellowing leaves on the brassicas. I also want to now take down the bean structure and compost the bean plants, but I'll need to get some of the borlotti beans from there. And then also we have Jerusalem artichokes, and their stems have basically died back, so I want to cut them up and put them on the compost. Here we had our purple sprouting broccoli and it's gone over. So all you need to do is we're just going to pull them out. You can see we used hay as a mulch and the results this year have been really promising. But what I'm going to do is pull these out, and then you get a hammer and you smash up the stem, and then you put this on the compost, and that means it will compost faster. I think this marks the end of a productive day in the garden. And yes, had I not been filming, it probably would have taken me 2 or 3 hours less. But I've got a lot of footage and a lot of things to teach you and hopefully show to you. But there's still a lot to be done in the garden here. Where I've taken the runner beans and also the peas, we've got to put organic matter over the top there to feed it a lot of nutrients. I'm really pleased that we managed to put a lot of compost onto where we had the squash, so what we need to do then is cover that with a black plastic. I've done a bit of hoeing here and there, removed some leaves of the brassicas, took up some brassicas which are over, also taking off the artichoke stems and other things like that. So there's been a lot, and of course giving it the final lawn cutting of the season. The thing is, I try and scythe as much as possible, and the only place across all of the lands where we use a strimmer is here in the vegetable garden, mainly because it's almost going to be a bit impossible to use a scythe around here in very confined areas. And if we had enough of the material, we would put like wood chip paths down instead to save us time. But you know, it's fine, and I quite like the look of it having a green lawn around the raised beds, although that maybe isn't the best things if you're worried about slug control. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please let me know what you're doing to prepare your garden for winter. And also, I just want to put in a plug. I've basically created a spin-off channel from Hugh's Nursery. It's called 60-Second Gardening, and I'm doing quite a lot of the 60-second tutorials on Facebook, so I thought I'd dedicate a separate YouTube channel just for that. So if you want some bite-sized gardening tutorials, then definitely go and check out that channel.